Hello everyone and welcome to my first review for 2023. As is quite frequent regarding this publisher, I have been given a advanced reader copy or a review copy of this book from the publisher in exchange for a honest review. Today I am going to be talking about Glacier Bay's most recent publication, one they are actually currently crowdfunding for, and by the time this has been posted there will be still a few days left, so I'll leave the Kickstarter link in the description below. And this is their phenomenal collection of short stories, Mothers by Kusahara Umi. This is a collection of 12 short stories by Umi and is collated over 250 pages that were originally published over 15 years as doujin in Japan, and this is Umi's first collection in English. As is normally the case with Glacier Bay Books' releases, this is very much an alternate manga, one that wouldn't inherently be seen by some of the larger publishers that we have in manga, but really this is such a phenomenal collection of really intense emotional vignettes. The Kickstarter describes it as a title that will really appeal to josei and seinen comic fans, and I have to agree, it really fits very well into Glacier Bay's current existing library. So if you have read and enjoyed any of their previous works, especially something like the Sleepy Child collection or Dear Sarah or even Rabbit Game, this slots very well within their current library. Although it is a collection of short stories, and typically that means there will always be some stronger than others, I think the mix across this collection is really, really wonderful. There's also a really strong theme of relationships between people and personal connection, especially between family, both parent and child, grandparent and child, but not exclusively. It isn't all familial connections between friends or colleagues or companions or strangers. It really does a good job at weaving very understandable, relatable relationships. Another major theme within the book is grief and guilt. We see it a lot over the course of multiple short stories, that the loss of a loved one or the ongoing grief of losing someone is very, very well done. The final story in this collection is in fact the titular Mothers, and is so incredibly poignant. It's such a fantastic story to end on. But that isn't to say it's the only good story within this book, not by a long shot. From the very, very first, we have such an interesting look at the world and at people and how we relate to each other. Grief is one of these larger themes that a lot of the characters are going through. The second story in this book, Body, is about a man who feels real guilt at how he reacts to and has rejected his mother throughout his life, and only until later, much later into his own life, does he have the sort of revelation of the things he's been missing. There's a phenomenal story about a wolf and a girl who keeps calling her granny, and just this very strange disconnect, which is in part due to the perception of this wolf character themselves. It's so good. There's some real love for characters who don't quite fit with societal norms. There's certainly characters in this collection that I would argue are neurodivergent in some capacity. There's a real care that Kusahara Umi has when writing these characters, and even though some of them are a bit more fantastical, are a little more allegorical, and not inherently straightforward. Not everything is as it seems across all of these stories. There's a magical, fantastical element to many of them, but in that way it actually becomes a lot stronger in tying it to our own emotions that people feel every day and experience all the time. Mothers is a collection of stories about love, the painful and exhilarating sides of that. There's a sweet, unhurried nature to even the sadder stories within this work, and it's a really bittersweet experience for the reader. Once again, there's just some phenomenal work being done by the Glacier Bay team here. Translation was done by Jocelyn Allen for this book, and lettering by the always wonderful Tim Sun. As someone who does love alternate comics, who has up until this point just adored every Glacier Bay book, this will not disappoint existing fans. I highly encourage anyone who's interested to help with the crowdfunding effort. They do ship internationally. Publication for this book was always going to be done, but with the crowdfunding, those funds are going to help finalize kind of the printing scope and the print run, as well as royalties for the creator themselves. Mothers is a beautiful collection of stories that I cannot wait to get the guaranteed gorgeous edition from Glacier Bay Books. If you have any interest in short story collections, especially from a single mangaka, if you do enjoy more poignant and emotionally wrought and just very, very powerful looks at human connections without inherently being grounded in logic and reasoning all of the time, then I would 100% recommend this book. As mentioned, this fits fantastically within Glacier Bay's current library, and if you are a fan of their previous publications, do pick it up in some capacity, whether it's through the Kickstarter campaign or on their website after the fact. I cannot recommend this book highly enough, and I absolutely implore people to try it if you are so interested. But thank you for listening to my honest review of Mothers by Kusahara Umi. As mentioned, the link to the Kickstarter will be in the description below. But let me know your thoughts, feelings. Are you interested in this sort of title? Is it something that you are curious in? Maybe you're wanting to expand your reading, especially into josei titles. Then I think this is a really great place to start, if so. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you in the next video. Bye till then.